Attorney Mike O'Shea represents a number of East Palestine residents. He joins us live. Mike, thank you for your time. So you're representing these residents here. Have you already filed lawsuits on behalf of your clients? And if so, what are they alleging and what are they hoping to get?
Well, thank you. We have filed 2 class actions last night. The first was a class action dedicated to try to get medical monitoring for the people that have been injured already by these chemicals. The second class action is one that will deal with property damage. And as a matter of fact, I'm right now out at one of our clients who runs a bed and breakfast whose business is essentially shut down from being overwhelmed with business, up until February 2nd, but whose business is dead as a doornail going forward from February 3rd.
All right, so Mike, we know that you urged your clients, if they were able to afford it, to reject this $1,000 so-called inconvenience offer from Norfolk Southern. Tell us why.
Well, because of the conditions. They being Norfolk and Southern, were having folks, these good folks, sign these things called W-9s so that it would be reported as functional income to the IRS by Norfolk and Southern. They were also having them give Norfolk and Southern sensitive information, date of birth, social security number, stuff like that. And they were having them sign a form. And then they were taking this inconvenience fee of $1,000 per person and combining it with a reimbursement amount and giving them one check. Now, there's a doctrine in Ohio law called accord and satisfaction, which means if you back into somebody's car, to give you an example, and you get out and you go, here's $100, sorry for the damage, and that person goes and gets an estimate 2 days later, and it's $500, then that person that you backed into can't get the other $400 from you because they took that money. It was essentially a handshake deal. You've settled the claim. So we were just testifying today in Pennsylvania in a state Senate hearing about this very issue, and there are a lot of people in the audience that are very angry about this check business. And believe me when I tell you, $1,000 to a lot of hardworking people up here in East Palestine, where we are, is a lot of money and a very, very tempting amount of money.
And Mike, my last question for you, and I know that this question maybe isn't fair at this point because there's so much left to assess, but how long do you anticipate it's going to take for your clients to ultimately recover from this? Well,
I'll tell you this. The only way lawsuits like this take a long time is if the defendant tries to make it take a long time, with one caveat. Now, a lot of these folks are going to be able to get fair market appraisals for the lost value of their property and come up with a price tag, and then it'll be up to Norfolk and Southern to pay that amount. Then there's going to be a longer period of time because our medical monitoring class action is going to essentially, because of the nature of the chemicals we're dealing with, require that Norfolk and Southern pay to have these folks' health monitored for the next 10, 15, or 20 years to make sure that they don't manifest any of the more serious injuries that you can get. So some of it will take a long time, but some of it shouldn't take a long time.
All right, Mike O'Shea, attorney for several clients there in East Palestine. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you for a shout out for these folks, and thanks for caring about this.
We sure do. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.